Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Sammy. Grinding Gear Games live reveal of 0.5 is over and done with, and we got a lot to talk about. 5 new endgame storylines, 2 new Ascendancy classes, the new league, we now know it. It's called the Ruins of Aldor. There's going to be 15 new bosses and pinnacle bosses, a Atlas tree that's going to have over 400 plus nodes, over 30 new uniques, and quality of life improvements. We have a in-game build planner and improvements to the infinite map UI. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. In this video, we're going to go through all of that stuff. Everything is going to be time-stamped in this video. If you don't want to hear about a certain part, just skip to the next section. And then at the end, I'm going to give you my summary and thoughts on this massive drop and update. They said it was going to be the biggest update in POE2's history, and boy, oh boy, did they not fail on that promise. Okay, so before we get into everything that was included in 0.5, I think I want to start with everything that was not included with 0.5. Now, there was a lot of teasers and a lot of noise out there as far as what these teasers meant leading up to this live reveal from Grinding Gear Games. Well, unfortunately, the swords are not included, and we did not get a new class in 0.5. Unfortunately, they couldn't deliver on that. There's just too much. I think little by little, we're slowly learning, well, some of us are slowly learning that the implementation of a new class is really a big haul for Grinding Gear Games, just because it influences and touches so many things in the game. So we did not get a new class in 0.5, sorry, and therefore no swords for 0.5. The other thing that we didn't get is we got no new trials. It also, through the Q&A with Jonathan, it doesn't sound like they can commit. They said it's a flip coin on whether the new Trials of the Ancestors is actually going to come for 1.0. It may happen after. Speaking of 1.0, that is the next thing I want to talk about. 100% confirmed. Jonathan said it in the live reveal. POE2 1.0 is confirmed for 2026. What does that mean? That means that everyone's speculation of that it's going to happen in December of 2026 is basically all but confirmed through Jonathan stating that in the live reveal tonight. And personally, I think everyone's got the timeline accurate. ExileCon is happening in November. That's when they're going to announce 1.0, which is going to happen in December. Now, what does that mean? There are not going to be any more leagues between 0.5 and 1.0. That means 0.5 is going to be another 6-7 months, whatever it works out to be. And we also know that Grinding Gear Games is going to take that opportunity of a timeline between 0.5 and 1.0. They're going to flush everything out of whatever needs to be updated and changed before they launch 1.0. So they're going to take that time to get everything right, fix whatever needs to be fixed, and do all that kind of stuff. The other thing that they talked about is we're going to get some updates. Now, I don't know if I heard them correctly or not. You guys get in the comment sections and let me know. It sounds like, and this is where I'm kind of fuzzy, you guys let me know what you think. I kind of interpreted that as they may do some economy resets where we have to start all over, do another character. They want to make the implementations, reset the economy, and maybe do that 1 or 2 times with everything that needs to be addressed within that timeline. That is my interpretation. If you interpreted their comments another way, please get in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. This way we get this accurate. But the bottom line, 1.0 is coming in 2026. and they're going to take that 6-7 month opportunity to address everything that needs to be addressed before they launch 1.0, which I'm saying is going to be in December. Okay, so as you can see here, this is all the content that's coming in 0.5. So we're going to take this in chewable bites, and I'm going to start with the new league mechanic, which we're going to be introduced right off the bat in Clairfell, and it is the Ruins of Aldor. And this is where we're going to come across an undead man being attacked in Clairfell, and after saving him, he introduces himself as Pharaoh, a young blacksmith. He's going to show us some ruin smithing works, and by inscribing symbols of the ancient Asmarite remnants, the corpses of the undead are revived. After defeating these foes, we are given the reward. But we need to be careful, folks, because the symbols used to craft the items also empower the monsters around the remnant. They are going to get revived as undead to fight against us, and they're going to have different properties dependent on what runes we use. So if we select the fire ruins, they're going to be empowered with fire. If we select cold, they're going to have cold powers, etc., etc. And after we defeat the foes, we break the remnants to receive the item that we selected. As we get higher and higher levels, we're going to find more powerful runes. Some recipes get pretty large. Apparently, they can go up to 8 ruins. So be wise in your choice. We are also going to have new Calgorian skills, which cost Runic Ward. They have no attribute requirements and can be used by any class. These new Runic skills also have Runic support gems, which can be used to empower regular skills. And then in the jungle, in Act 3, we can find more secrets for Pharaoh to learn from. There's also a new crafting feature which allows us the crafting of unique. All Calgorian uniques can be reforged. There's 100 new ruins and the new runic currency called alloys. In Act 4, Pharaoh meets Danik. And once we reach the endgame, there is a new expedition quest line, which we can explore the ocean. This is the new expedition upgrade, and many of the islands through the exploration of the ocean have new expeditions with new challenges. All this to say that the Ruin of Aldor has ruin forging armor, upgrading uniques, tons of new islands, 5 new bosses, including a pinnacle boss, plus a bunch of new uniques. In the next section, I'd like to talk about all the league mechanics that were reworked. Now, Grinding Gear Games stipulated in this live reveal that they found that the league mechanics, some of them were not up to snuff with, let's say, the Fate of the Val and the Rise of the Abyssal League. They just felt like the other league mechanics outside of the Fate of the Val and the Rise of the Abyssal just weren't up to snuff with those two. So they wanted to raise the bar for the other league mechanics, and boy, have they done that. All 4 leagues introduced since early access have been updated and reworked, with all of them having new quests, new mechanics, new crafting systems, new uniques, and new pinnacle bosses. One of the new major changes with 0.5 is we can now find them in the Infinite World in specific locations. Each one will have a quest line that will lead us there to be able to complete the league along with its Atlas tree and a pinnacle boss. This is true even for the leagues not reworked like Fate of the Val and Rise of the Abyssal. In Delirium, the quest line is called The Hare and the Raven. It's a bunch of new mechanics, monsters to kill, new Atlas mechanics, new crafting systems for jewels, and over 20 new unlockable notables for amulets, new pinnacle boss with a bunch of unique items, and a massive Atlas skill tree just for Delirium. Breach. The quest line for Breach is Waking the Dreamer. This is where the Genesis tree also is part of the mechanic. And by the way, the Genesis tree also got a major facelift. In Breach Rework, there's new stabilization mechanic for breaches, new hive encounters, and highborn incursions on the Atlas. Also a huge new crafting system via the Genesis tree and new bosses. Rise of the Nameless is the new quest line for the new and improved ritual mechanic. Rewards earned are now uniques and omens, only making the rewards more valuable in ritual. In order to get an audience with the king, we need to sacrifice tribute. Any tribute that we don't spend on rewards can now be used this way. Masters of the Atlas is the new Ascendancy class for our Atlas passive tree. This is where I mentioned Doriani, Hilda, and Jado. Well, as we unlock each master, we unlock bonuses, which we can then choose which master and bonus to use for each map we run. The Master of Atlas UI will be on the left side of the screen. We just select which master and bonuses within that master, and it will be applied to the map we are currently running, giving us customization on how we want to run each map. And of course, the origins of Divinity. This is where this massive tower that we saw coming out of the earth in one of the teasers, this is the new storyline for that mechanic. We are going to make our way to the fortress. Apparently, it's very close to the starting point. Apparently, it's north of the starting point, 3 to 4 or 5 maps away. And we make our way to the fortress. We activate the gate, and the fortress has many new things to find and discover new areas. The areas inside the fortress are special and have new mechanics. Atlas passive tree has been reworked, providing a new way to empower the infinite world. You get points for every area you complete in the fortress. Nodes in the Atlas tree will provide options for players. Arbiter of Ash is not the pinnacle fight in POE2 anymore. The fortress now has a new pinnacle boss in the center of the fortress. Each time we fight the fortress pinnacle boss and defeat him, we can select one area of the fortress, and any map not completed in that area selected will be automatically completed, giving us all the Atlas points. This allows players who don't want to run all those maps to still get all the Atlas points by rushing the pinnacle boss. After the storyline, we can still find keys the same way, exploring the infinite world, looking for citadels. This is the origins of Divinity storyline. And then we have 2 new Ascendancy classes, one for the Huntress, the Spirit Walker, and one for the Monk, Martial Artist.
The Spirit Walker has developed an affinity with the Asmerian animal spirits. She is able to infuse the power of multiple spirits at her choosing. On the bottom part of the class, you will find paths for each wisp you would like to commune with, be they primal, vivid, or wild. Each one can give you different abilities that align with the stag, owl, or bear. Each ability gives you a method to become possessed by wisps of that type, and a new ability when you spend them. The stag allows you to summon stampedes when you attack. The owl grants boons in the form of their feathers, which adds extra projectiles and enhances the projectile speed of your next skill. And the bear simply summons a giant bear companion to your side. The bear will maul, slam, leap, and do intimidating roars to debuff your enemies. Now you can specialize more into each of these wisps, but if you want to combine all three of them, then a new hidden power will be unlocked, the power of the Sacred Wisps. This node is free and enhances the quality of all three of your spirit animals. Your bear will take some of the damage you take and grant you life regeneration. Your stags will become more aggressive, leaping towards enemies, and your owl-empowered skills will leave a trail of soaring ground behind them. But that's not all. The Spirit Walker has other powers beyond wisps, such as Idolatry, which can give you large bonuses for using idle socketables in your equipment. And this one, which is my absolute favourite. The Spirit Walker, having attuned herself with nature, can gain the ability to tame beast bosses, opening up a whole suite of very cool options for your build. Maybe you tame the mighty Silverfist in the jungle depths. Or maybe a three-headed chimeral beast in the chimeral wetlands. Or then there's a giant frozen owl beast, Rakar, the Frozen Talon. There's so many choices. You're going to have to experiment a bunch with this one, and I'm very excited to see what bosses you all choose to have as your trusted boss companion. Next up, we have the Monk's new Ascendancy class, the Martial Artist. After decades of training, he has mastered 3 of the 7 Hollow techniques. Channeling Hollow Form technique allows the martial artist to create illusions of himself, which then use a skill of your choosing. Perfect for turning skills with less area of effect into ones that can obliterate packs with ease. Should you find yourself overly vulnerable while channeling, you might want to take Way of the Mountain, which causes you to be covered in stone when you immobilize enemies, mitigating large amounts of damage. This can even enhance your attacks too. By hardening your weapon in stone, you can deal even more damage. After taking Hollow Focus technique, you can manifest your spiritual energy into objects. In this case, bells, which will appear around the martial artist and can be shattered by any of his attacks, even ones from the Hollow Form technique earlier. Hollow Resonance technique furthers that by adding a manifested bell to your back, which rings each time you deal a critical strike, damaging all enemies around you. Through all the martial artist's thorough training, he has mastered the flow of internal spiritual energy too, and has engraved runic tattoos around his meridians. By doing this, he can gain the benefit of extra runes. Just open your inventory and add the runes. There is one that counts as a helmet, 2 as a body armor, 1 as gloves, and 1 as boots. Finally, your hands, the ultimate expression of a master of the martial arts. Taking Way of the Stone Fist will cause your gloves to become a new base type when equipped. Each modifier on the original pair of gloves has an equivalent, more powerful, and more impactful modifier. For example, these gloves add some physical damage, cold damage, lightning damage, some resistances, and life gain on hit. Now, when I equip these, they become literal fists of stone, and not only grant me a bunch more evasion and energy shield, they now also grant a lot more damage, some maximum resistances, and a significantly higher amount of life gained on hitting enemies. With all the different rune combinations you could do, and the different modifiers on gloves, there's a ton of different build options, and we're looking forward to seeing what you can come up with.
Before I get into my closing thoughts, there are a couple of items that I missed and I want to mention, and that is the fact that there are a couple of other quality of life features that are in the game that I didn't highlight in this package. And Grinding Gear Games added some, let's just say, holding of the hand features in the game, where they wanted to help players progress through the campaign as far as knowing where to go and find certain areas. And they've added some hints. So they talked about stuff like dead corpses of animals and stuff being on the ground. In one area, there's a post sign that says, this is the there's the area over there. So And there's many more apparently. So they did that. It's a very nice feature to kind of help us navigate through Rayclass and the campaign. And I guess maybe that's their little way of dealing with this thing that people always bring up. Some areas are so big that we just run around and we're lost. So unless you're a speedrunner, of course. So that was another quality of life feature that I forgot to mention. So for those of you that are familiar with the challenge leagues in Path of Exile 1, well, they've added it to Path of Exile 2. There are now challenges that have been added and are going to be added in every league. And you complete these challenges and you're going to gain cosmetic rewards. I forgot to mention that. And I want to reiterate, I want to emphasize, because I didn't say this in this package before my final thoughts, and that is the Val Temple has gone core and no snaky snakes. There are no snakes allowed anymore. Shame, shame, shame. So yeah, we're not going to be able to do snakes no more on the temple. And basically what they've done is they've just normalized the drops, and it's going to be like normal loot and currency. And yeah, so you're not going to be able to break the temple. Fingers crossed. The other thing I wanted to mention, typically when GGG does a live reveal, the patch notes come out 24, 48 hours, sometimes a little longer. But of course, with this massive update, they said that the patch notes are not going to come out till the week before. So the 0.5 launches on May 29th. So the week before is going to be the 21st, 22nd, around there, Thursday or Friday, dependent on how quickly they get it done. But of course, they want to make sure everything is accurate. So they want to dot their I's, cross their T's. So 1 week prior to May 29th is when we're going to get the patch notes. Okay, I think that's it. Probably not. I'm sure I missed a ton of stuff. I did my best, guys. And I have to say, this lighting is horrible. I apologize. I said it in the beginning. One of my studio lights, and I have two of them, went out literally as I was about to turn it on recording this video. And it's kind of just ruined my mood for this video. So apologies for the horrible lighting. So what are my thoughts on 0.5? Wow. What a patch. I love everything that was introduced. I got to say, I'm super happy that Jonathan confirmed that 1.0 is going to happen in 2026. That's amazing news. I have to say, I'm a little bit disappointed that he also said it's a flip of the coin on the third trials coming prior to 1.0. So we may go in to 1.0 without the third trials. Who knows? Flip of the coin. If we're lucky, we're going to get it. I love the fact that they stuck to their guns with the infinite world. And I love the update that they've done to it. Now that there are fixed interest points, we know where Breach is going to be. We're going to know where Delirium is. We know where the tower obviously is going to be. You get my point. We're going to know where everything is in the infinite world. There's structure, there's a format, there's a beginning, there's an end. That's another thing Jonathan talked about, that in the old infinite world, there was no end. People didn't know when things kind of were over, were finished, or okay, I'm done, I can leave. So because people didn't know, they would get there and they would leave early kind of thing, right? I love that the quest progression, the UI, that you just click on it and it shows you where you're progressing on all these new quest lines. Big clap for these 5 new quest lines for each of the new mechanics. And it's just unbelievable. All structured. It'll give us our lanes. We're going to know where to go, where not to go if we don't like a certain mechanic. I just think it will appease everyone. I'm hoping. The 2 new Ascendancies look unbelievable. This league is going to produce some unbelievable builds They just keep adding to it. I also love the fact, this might not go over well with a lot of people. I know some people are complaining about the fact that 0.5 was over 6 months, and now 0.5 and 1.0 is going to be 6+ months. However, haven't done the math yet. 6-7 months, whatever it is. I know a lot of people don't like that, but I love and agree with GGG's roadmap on this. They're going to take May 29th to whenever 1.0 drops, which I'm saying December something. They're going to take that time to flush everything out and get everything right so they hit the ground running with 1.0. I totally agree with that, because what it does is, instead of them focusing on another league injection in between 0.5 and 1.0, it'll get them to prioritize fixing the game, getting the foundation right, and we're going to go in hopefully healthy into 1.0. So I totally agree with that. It's some short-term content pain for long-term stability for Path of Exile 2. Now, my hopes is that the end game is going to look and feel like it sounds amazing in this reveal. We'll only know until we get it in our hands, but unbelievable update, live reveal. The content that Grinding Gear Games just pours out and spits out is like second to none. They're unbelievable. I'm really, really happy. I gotta say, while we were watching the live reveal, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, goodbye IRL. Who has... It's unbelievable. It's just the amount of gameplay that's in here is incredible. I don't want to sound like a shill, but it is what it is. There's so much content in here, and the flexibility, how each player can play the game differently, from a build perspective, from an end game perspective. I love that. I really do think this is going to be unbelievable. 0.5 is going to be great. I can't wait to get my hands on it. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. Enough talking for me. Hopefully I did a good job summarizing the reveal. If I didn't, if I missed something, and I'm sure I did, get in the comments section, guys, please. People do read the comments section, and it'll, if I miss something that's important, people that do read the comments will be updated properly, and this way will make sure, keep me in check. And yeah, if you want to like the video and comment on the video, please, it'll push the video through the YouTube algorithm. I don't want to even tell you how many hours I spent on this video. But anyway, and of course, the best way to support me and my channel is to subscribe to it. Please, doesn't cost you anything, and it would mean the world to me. And I'm super excited for 0.5. I hope you are as well. And that'll do it for me, everybody. As usual, we'll hope to see you next time. Take care. The opinions expressed in this video are mine and solely mine. Healthy debate is always encouraged. Hate is never welcomed. So get over it.